Let's get this on the road. My name is Danny Burke, guys, and I presume you know what this is. This is Most Amazing Top 10, where we do all kinds of top 10 lists about all kinds of different things, and today's thing is the top 10 useless things we learned in school thing. Now don't get me wrong, guys, a lot of things we learn in school are important to learn no matter what you go on to do with your life, but other things leave you thinking, why did I learn that in school? Did I really need to learn that? Probably not. Well, we're going to jump right into those by starting things off with our number 10, which is colouring in neatly. Now I'm not talking about really small kids. Obviously colouring in is fun for them and it teaches them how to hold a pen and a pencil, it's fine. But I distinctly remember being like 14 years old in my geography class and being told off because I didn't colour in the map neatly enough. Like, who cares? Since then, I've never had anyone in my life ask me to colour in something neatly, and I probably never will. And if they did, I'd probably fail at it because I'm still really bad. Coming in at number 9 now, guys, we've got long multiplication and long division. Everyone I've talked about this seems to have been taught a different but equally complex method for breaking down big numbers in a way that would just never happen in the real world. And the teachers always say the same thing, like you have to learn this because you won't always be walking around with a calculator in your pocket. But in the past few years, everyone seems to have one of these, a smartphone, which acts as a calculator for everyone, and it also lets you go on YouTube, so it's like the best calculator ever. On to number 8 now, guys, and we've got Latin. Now Latin is quite useful if you want to learn some European languages like Italian or French or Spanish, and Roman numerals help you know which GTA game you're playing, but generally speaking, Latin is a dead language and there's almost no need for kids to learn it these days. Unless Romans all come back from the dead, in which case, hail Caesar, I'm sorry for what I just said, teach me some Latin. Alright, coming in at number 7 now, guys, we've got the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Now don't get me wrong, guys, some biology is very important to learn. It's important to learn about the human body and diseases and evolution and genetics, but then there are some things that we really don't need to learn unless we're actually going to become a biologist and actually use that. And shut up, just shut up. The mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell seems to be that one fact in biology that every school kid has to learn, but nobody seems to actually need in their lives after school. I will forget my own name before I forget that the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. Next up at number 6, we've got spell checking. Now don't get me wrong, I think it's important for everyone to have a decent level of spelling, but the truth is 99% of the writing we do these days is either done on a computer or a phone. And that means we don't have to spell check every single last word we write, and a computer can do it all for us at the end, and they can do it a lot better than humans can. Now you could definitely argue that that has made the world a lazier place, but the inescapable truth is that we might not need spell checking taught to kids anymore. On to number 5, and we've got the Dewey Decimal System, and if you don't know what that is, it's the 140-year-old classification system for books in a library, developed by Melville Dewey, and a lot of school children have been taught how it works over the years. It did work really well for a long period of time for libraries to sort their books into different categories and for people to find those books. But in today's modern world, libraries will either let you find the book you want using cataloguing computers, or you can just look it up on their website before you even leave the house. Coming in at number 4 now, we've got the backward roll. Now you guys probably learn a lot of things in physical education, often called PE, but I'm pretty sure a backward roll might have been the most useless of them all. Now I can see the practical application for doing a forward roll. Maybe you want to escape a fire, maybe you're doing a sports celebration, or maybe you're just pretending to be an action hero. But really, why would you need to learn to do a backwards roll? Just turn around and do a forwards roll. It's a lot quicker and easier. To be fair, I do personally suck at doing backwards rolls, but that's not the point. The point is we've got the forward roll, so let's just stick with that. That's enough rolls for anyone. At number 3 now, we've got the iambic pentameter. Now there are a lot of things that I might not have needed to learn in my English class, but I'm just using the iambic pentameter as a good example of a pretty useless one. Freedictionary.com defines a pentameter as a line of verse consisting of 5 metrical feet. When put together, iambic pentameter may be defined as a line of verse consisting of 5 metrical feet where each foot consists of an unstressed syllable and a stressed syllable. I honestly spent hours and hours of my time at school looking over examples of that in Shakespearean sonnets and poetry, and I can honestly say the only thing I took away from it was that it was pretty useless. Don't get me wrong, guys, I really like learning a lot of things in English at school, but personally I feel like kids should be taught more about the messages behind works of literature than simply just counting syllables on a piece of paper. But then again, I'm just a guy in a video. school. At number 2 now guys, we've got Pythagoras' theorem. Now remember earlier when I said that everyone needs to have a baseline level of mathematical understanding? Well, this isn't one of them. This theorem states that the sum of the squares of the lengths of the legs of a right angle is equal to the square of the length of the hypotenuse. It's basically a fancy way of working out the properties of a triangle if you know some of the other properties of a triangle. It's one of the founding principles of mathematics, and a lot of people do go on to use this in their jobs and at some point in their lives, but for many more people, they can honestly say that they've never had to work out the properties of a triangle. Like, ever. I've only ever had to use Pythagoras' theorem when I was learning about it at school, and I hope Pythagoras doesn't take that personally. It's just one of those things. We've reached number 1 now, and we've got cursive writing. You guys might know it as loop writing, joined up writing, or fancy writing, but whatever you call it, it doesn't seem to be much of a reason to use it outside of school. I spent so much time at school practicing that loop on my Y's and my G's, making them look nice and fancy, and learning how to keep it all neatly in one little line. And then when I left school, I pretty much only used computers to write anything longer than a page, and if I ever did write on paper, people didn't seem to care if it looked like it was written by a Victorian. It might look nice, but just like a self-stirring mug, you don't always need things that look nice. Actually, I do kind of want that. Well guys, that's all we've got time for in this video. Let me know what you think was the most useless thing in this video. Do you agree or disagree with any of the things on this list? Maybe we can discuss it down there in the comments, and we can change education one random YouTube video at a time. In the meantime, do all that good stuff like liking and sharing and subscribing to this channel if you haven't done already. There's also 2 videos floating over there if you want to keep watching more right this second. And as ever, have a most amazing day. My name is Danny Burke, and if you do want to follow me on Instagram, you can find it all the way down there, and I'll see you guys soon.